All right, this is our newest Star Wars campaign, 2 or 3 shot Galaxy in Darkness. This is happening right around the time of the Andor show, so 5 BBY. I'll just read this real quick while I play some inspiring music. It is BBY 5, and the Empire is at the height of its power. Democracy is an illusion. The Senate holds little power, and those that cling to the memory of the Republic are few and far between. But there are those, high and low, that hope for something more, something better. Will they fight for it? Will the streets soaked in blood pave the way for a brighter day? Or will the strife snuff out any freedoms left? The low-rise bar on Corellia was the perfect spot to get a job and lay low. Through various contacts, you have a meet. The pay is good, or so you were told, and you have the opportunity to stick it to the Empire. Does it get better than that? Um, yeah. So you guys are at this bar, and Bo, can you actually switch your token face, or is it just something I can do?
Let me see about that. If
So you
I
should be able to
maybe.
click on it, right click on it,
Um,
and there's on the very bottom right there should be a.
there is.
So
I'm
click on
gonna
that, and
switch it
then
over.
you should be able to pick whichever one you want.
Um, let me move them up so I can see it because it kind of displays them from side to side.
Yep.
So I should be in my, yeah, this guy, right? This is my
Yeah, I
more
figured. I just was
great
curious if you
clothes.
could do
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
All right, perfect. That's cool. All right, and all right. So we're at the bar. This is called the, what did I say? Low dive bar. Um, and I'm guessing Aston, you're already there. Why don't you describe what you're doing, and then why don't you just kind of each of you give me kind of an intro?
Yeah, I guess I can start. So as the camera kind of fades across the streets of Corellia into the low-rise bar, smoky haze is filling the room, and species of all kinds are huddled in the darkness, staying away from any body that might catch their attention. For this isn't the type of place that you go to do upstanding business. And that's why Aston John makes his way to one of the back tables and has a seat. When he walks, it's with a mechanical, very clean precision, and he seems to be very at ease in this sort of environment, very able. Slow moving, he sits down, and a waitress comes to him and says, "What will it be?" "Corellia Martini. Dry." "Anything else, sir?" "No, that'll be it. I'm expecting company. So, what's the security like around this place, sweetheart?" And he strikes up a conversation with the waitress as he waits for his potential business partners to find him in the back.
Yeah, for his potential business partners, you have a description of him and what he's going to be wearing. Maybe he's wearing a specific brooch or a pin to his chest, something like that. What would that be, Aston? How would they recognize you?
He has a pin on his lapel, and he's kind of in dungarees, kind of work clothes that look uh, at home in this place, but the lapel certainly does not. Uh, it's a heavy metal make. Has like a shield with a diamond kind of embedded in the middle of it, and there is the name of Jon and Ubesh kind of across the top of the shield. And he's told his business partners that they'll find him by the sign of the shield and star on his left lapel.
Who comes in first?
Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, so
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So, Veril is a average height, dark features, light skinned man who has been standing outside of the bar actually for several hours watching people come in and out and go in and out. Um, he's looking down the street. He's looking left and right. He's a nervous man, and he carries that nervousness on his face. He has a kind of a downward look, but even though he's looking around at all times, he keeps his eyes low, and he waits a little while after the scheduled time that if they're supposed to be there when he finally shuffles across the road into the bar where they're supposed to be, and keeping his hands in front of him, kind of grasping them. Again, looking nervous. He's looking about the bar, trying to find the person that he's supposed to be there to meet. He's worried. He's afraid that it could be a setup, but he has no other choice. He's here to get a job done, whatever it takes, and if that means putting himself in harm's way, well, then that's what he's going to do. So he looks around at all the customers in this seedy little bar, and he looks for the star and shield on the shield that he was told to look out for. Um, Waiting to meet eye contact with someone to find them and approach.
What about you there, Jarek?
Jarek approaches the bar, stops on the opposite side of the street. He's in a green military style overcoat, and in his hand he has a bottle of Corilla Cola, sipping it, sucking on his teeth on how insanely overprocessed and sweet it is. He looks to the left and right, assessing to see if there's any sort of corporate police or military presence of any kind, knowing the people in his line of work are often sought after for questioning, if not breaking the law in one way or another. The Zabrak has a vestigial horns around his head like they all do, with a black, almost scalp lock type of hair going into a small ponytail in the back. He throws the remainder of the cola away and pops his collar up, doing his best to appear nonchalant as he walks into the cantina. He goes up to the bar, sits down, making some small chit chat with the waiter, a generic droid, looking around the bar for the sign of their contact. Seeing Aston in the corner with the shield on his lapel, he slowly kind of turns away, gives one last look to the crowd before standing up and making his way over.
The two of you come in at similar times, probably Varel a little later because he mentioned going in a little late. And you eventually do see the man with the pin on his lapel. He's seated in a booth in the back of the bar. It's smoky in here from pipes from various hookah-like instruments, and the noise of the cantina bands playing in the background. Not so nice to have one local, but pumped in through the audio system. And yeah, you do see that guy in the back, and I assume you approach. Aston, what do you do as these two contacts that you've been waiting for head your way?
Yeah, the waitress has just bought him his martini, and he sits back in the booth, surveying the bar, his eyes swiveling to left and right. Eventually, he sees a Zabrak kind of spot the insignia on his lapel and head his way. He gives the Zabrak a shallow nod. And as soon as he's within earshot, says, "Have a seat, Zabrak. Did you come alone? I was told to expect one other."
Yeah,
Jarek.
Beryl. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Beryl, seeing a little bit of motion with the two meeting and sitting down, looks over and glances to see if the shield is on the uniform there. And when he does, he attempts to make eye contact with Aston and Jarek to confirm that those are the people he's supposed to be meeting with.
Jarek, as Aston talks to him, gives a nod of acknowledgement and kind of taps his lapel on his own coat where the shield is on Aston's. Kind of sits down wordlessly and nods. He goes, so it sounds like we have another one joining us then?
I suppose so. At least, I was told. More often than not in this business, Zabrak, they don't show. Not many have the spine for it, the guts.
Nothing a little liquid courage can't solve. And he kind of nods to Aston's drink and looks around for a bartender to get his own beverage.
While he's
Well
looking for
said,
that
Oh, go ahead.
bartender, Varel makes his way through the crowd and into the back towards that table where he saw the Zabrak sit down, and he approaches the table cautiously, looking down. He raises his eyes just enough to meet their eyes, and looks at Aston's badge and says, "This is where I'm supposed to be, I believe." As he's darting his eyes around left and right, looking through the crowd.
Aston kind of talks to Zabrak and takes a sip of his drink. "I recommend martini. The waitress isn't too bad herself." And then he kind of turns to his left. "Ah, I was expecting you. There we have it. The bull and the..." kind of looks at Varel and immediately sizes him up to be nervous for some reason. "And the mouse. Although we'll change that. From what I understand, you're a mouse that goes boom from time to time."
And Varel's eyes widen when he says that. It's like he sits down and kind of pushes his way into the booth. "Are you sure you want to be talking like that right now here? I don't want anyone else to know what I do."
Appropriate discretion. Appropriate discretion," Aston says as he takes a drink of his martini and swirls it around a little bit. "I don't think we have anything to worry about here. I knew more about the men and women sitting in the booth behind us than I think they do." He sees several women on the side and 2 men as well. She sees more. None of them human at all. We don't have anything to fear. Others have secrets, darker secrets than we will discuss tonight.
Varel's wringing his hands as he says this and just keeps his eyes down at the table. "Well, I'm here now, so I don't want to get in trouble. I just don't want to get in trouble."
What do you think, Zabrak? Liquid courage? Offer the mouse something here.
Nothing a penitent ruin can't solve, but he's worried about it not getting in trouble. Well, it's too late if it is a trap now. You're sitting here with us, but I understand. Discretion is the better part of valor when it comes to people like us, no?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I also suppose it's time to get down to brass tacks, boys. We're not all here out of a goodwill, and I think all of us could have better plans on this evening. But we're here for credits, and some of us are here for a little bit more. I don't care about the reason, but am I correct in assuming that everyone in this shady, seedy booth isn't a fan of the Empire?
I don't think many people are fans of the Empire, but there's a few of us that are willing to do something about it, and that's why I'm here.
The Empire has hurt a lot of people. A lot of people that didn't deserve to be hurt. They have whatever's coming to them.
Aston looks at Veril, and the corner of his left eye twitches. John removes his hand from the martini where condensation is sweating and leaving small rings on the table. He takes that pin from his lapel and holds it in a clenched fist and stuffs it back into his pocket. You're right, Veril. Don't you ever forget it. You lose somebody to the Empire? Take that feeling buried deep inside. It'll give you what you need when the time comes, because we are going to go into a dangerous situation. You'll be 2,000 credits richer, though, after it. I need to know if you're all in or not. 2,000 credits, right, Ted?
Yep.
2,000.
Each.
Yeah.
And Verril's wringing his hands, and he looks over his shoulder, over the booth. He glances out of the corner of his eye at the couple you mentioned behind you. Then he looks back down at his hands. I'm in this. I'm in this all the way. I know what it means. I know what can happen. No, I don't want to get in trouble. No, I don't want to get killed, just like the next guy doesn't want to get killed. But I'm in this. I'm in this the whole way. Like I said, they've hurt people, and they need to pay for that.
Aston kind of looks into his eyes and tries to read Veril.
Yeah, you could give a roll just to kick around.
Kick off the
odds.
campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
So you would I don't know what the normal difficulty is. Probably just one purple.
What, perception or?
I would say.
It'd probably be a social one of the social
yeah,
skills.
Coercion, probably.
Coercion?
Coercion?
I was trying to see if he's in it all.
Yeah, and I just I guess
It's
perception.
deception. Sometimes you can do
that's
deception
fine.
because.
Yeah, just do
Perception.
perception. That's fine.
So you just click on the. All right, and so we set the difficulty. So just average the two purple.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see. There you go.
Yep. He's I don't know. Is he all the way in?
Yeah, so you're trying to look at Veril, look him up and down. You look into his eye, and while you see his eyes darting left and right, and he has a sense of nervousness about him, his hands wringing, his constant looking around, you could tell from the tone of his voice and the forcefulness with which he was commenting on how much the Empire deserves what's coming to them. And you could hear the sincerity in his voice when he talked about people being hurt by the Empire, that he really has no love for the Empire whatsoever, and that this is something personal for him.
Aston looks at him, and he sees that nervousness, and he kind of looks through it to what's deeper and the motivation underneath it. And he kind of leans into him, and he has a sincere moment, and he takes that clenched fist that he put the pin into his pocket with and lays it on Veril's shoulder and says, "Yeah, I understand it. You and me, we might be from different places, but we're in this together, all the way, no matter what. And you know that with the two of you, I will never, ever, ever stop. And there's nothing to be afraid of. And he kind of says that to Varel and looks in his eyes. And he's just digging into his life as a survivor. And you'll get into that when you talk about his backstory and his leadership and bureaucratic training that he's had, with his background. You'll get into that too. And he thinks he's just giving you a little bit of pep talk. But I want to use influence force on him to give him a calming emotion.
Okay. What do you... So...
It's just influence basic power.
Yep.
If I roll a light side, I can just basically give him a calming feeling.
Go ahead. Yeah. Roll it.
So I'm gonna see how that's the only thing I couldn't find is like where you roll the force side.
Let's see. I think I know where.
Oh, there's a way. We talked about that. Like, there's a way to roll a single die. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Force 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's a little token. This will roll 20 token. Right click decreases the number, and if you click on it, it increases it.
Which one? Oh.
No.
Yeah. So what happens?
You could have it just fail, but I want to use the dark side.
Okay.
I want to change my my approach just a little bit. And he says all those things, and he used some phrases about never giving up and like going until the bitter end and no matter what. And Varel might indeed get a feeling, but it's that, like, I think he sees Aston as a capable leader, but just very cold and relentless, like a deep, cold, dark pool that he looks into.
Question. Do you just get one conflict for that?
I think it depends on what the discretion is.
I would just say
maybe
one.
we can look at that. Yeah, probably. I'm doing it just so I can get a little role play in.
So how does that feel to you, Varel?
So Varel, he was nervous before, and when Aston, puts this thought into his head that he doesn't have to be concerned or worried because Aston's there and he can help take care of it. Varel's shoulders, which were kind of tight, relax a little bit, feeling a little more comfortable in this situation, but at the same time, he kind of glances side eyes at Aston, wondering who he's gotten himself involved with and hoping he can trust this person. He's not quite sure why, but Aston comes off as being a little intense, and while Varel is more confident in the mission, he's got some concern about the person.
How are you feeling with this conversation?
He sees they're kind of back and forth, and his drink is more like in a smaller glass, and he drains it and puts the glass down and kind of sarcastically, "To the Empire. Let's do this."
Varel lets out a strained chuckle at that. To the Empire.
Aston swirls his martini around and raises it up. To the Empire. Well, my, shall we say, handler hasn't let me down so far, so... Varel Isar, I know a bit about you already, but you, Zabrak, I only know hints and shadows what you bring to the table. And let me tell you about the mission, and you can tell me how you plan to attack it.
Let's hear it.
He kind of brings out a data pad, and he has a few kind of sketches and maps on it. Moves the drinks out of the center of the table and scoots it forward, leaving little streaks of water behind it. Taps it, and you hear that typical Star Wars beep bleep. Mining planet, mid-rim. Well secured, but not well enough. Happen to come across some Imperial intel? Well, mining planet turned into a prison planet. You know the rules. Empire gets a hold of something, ruins it, crushes all the life out of it for profit and money. You can see this starting to turn white. Anyhow, one of the forced laborers, woman by the name of, let me find it, Valora Kane, knows a little too much. I need to make contact with her, figure out what she knows, and maybe deal with the problem one way or another, if you know what I mean. Bonus, and maybe some bonus credits too. Damage the facility on the way out. Whatever we can do would be much appreciated. Of course, he kind of wipes the screen and brings up not some schematics, but some, like a spreadsheet of some sort. Place is heavily guarded. Of course, also, swipes again, I happen to come across some security clearance information along with the intel. My handler hasn't led us astray yet. Going to waltz in, take care of Valora Kane, waltz out, leave a little sabotage, and behind us will be a facility that goes boom. You have any questions?
Varyl's eyes widen and light up a little bit when you said the facility goes boom. He looks at you across the table and says, "Well, I'm assuming you have the schematics for where we're going, so I can start planning on where to put the charges and how to instigate the boom."
I have schematics.
Limited. It's built into a rock, like a mountain, and there is some power here. I'll just show you real quick. Tell me if you guys can see this.
No token on this scene.
Oh, hold on.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
He did say limited.
Excuse me.
Yo.
Global illumination, maybe.
No, I'm just trying to get the tokens over. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, I'm in the wrong pane. So, oh god, it's got dynamic lighting on. Anyway, hold on. Regardless, okay, here, I'm just gonna set you up where it looks kind of. Man, I did too much. Oh, this I know why. Um, anyway, there's these up here, right? That you can see, and these are all power generators. These two big balls in the middle are power generators, and these are all like basically power conduits that head down. These are like caps. They head down into the facility, at least on the exterior, which you're able to see. You don't have any interior visibility, but on the exterior, this would make a good place to blow something up. You're not sure how much internal damage it would do. Maybe you should give me, let's see, Varel. Give me a. Hmm.
Mechanics.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, mechanics. With two purple. You can see how you want to spend those advantages. Where's the help thing? I don't see that.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking for. I don't see it.
Wonder why.
Okay.
I can if you scroll up, it's there. You have 4, so I mean these are.
Whoops, ignore that.
Yeah, we're gonna roll those in a second. Basically, you're unsure if it would carry down into the facility. You don't know enough about it.
Okay, so I'm gonna be looking at the limited schematics that he does have. I'm gonna try and see if I can discern anything from those schematics, and I quickly realize that it's not enough information. That I don't have the information I need to make a definite call on what's going on here. But while looking at it, I do see um, that the type of material being used, we do have a little bit of an advantage on our side. The type of material being used, uh, if for those the housing for the those vents and the what was the other one, the
The
yeah,
power conduits.
exactly, the power conduits. The type of material being used is one that I'm very familiar with and know exactly how to get through.
Okay. Let's take a real small break just to roll this destiny. So, um, WP, you rolled dark side. So if you want, I'll just do this. If you go ahead and click here to roll for destiny pool. Yep. And Doc, you can do it too. Oh,
Ah!
nice, nice, nice. Okay, now that that's done, uh, all right. So Varel has some idea, based on the schematics he's shown. Yeah, what would you guys like to do? And just so you know, Aston, you have a ship that's docked here that you can use.
Jarek's going to ask to look at those schematics, and he's going to kind of analyze it for maybe access points that your typical security officer wouldn't think about, or both a way in and a way out, not necessarily the same way.
Let me think about that.
It does. I would think it falls under skullduggery, but I don't know if that
Yeah, you
the
can do
limited
that. You can roll
schematics
that with
would allow
two.
it.
You can roll that with 2 purples. I'm just looking at my maps so I know what I'm gonna tell you. But you can roll. Yeah, you don't. You're not sure. You don't have enough info. You've never been into a mining prison before.
Jarek kind of lets out a sigh. He goes, I've been into some pretty tight spots before, but mining prison luckily hasn't been one of them. I'm not seeing anything that jumps off the schematics here that would help us.
Partial schematics, I suppose, are better than nothing, but you're right. This is going to be risky. Especially if the guards get wind of us before we're ready to blow our cover, if it ever comes to that. Can you both fight?
And
I'm good with the blaster.
Vero kind of sheepishly looks around. So, well, I mean, I've used a blaster in the past. I don't know how good I am with a blaster. I don't have a lot of experience with one, but um, I can blow things up. That can be very handy sometimes, depending on the situation. Yeah, I'm better at escapes than fights, I guess.
I'm no slouch with a blaster, but I'm no career soldier either. What about you, Jarek?
Well, I grew up on the Outer Rim, and I'm old enough to remember the Clone Wars, so I definitely. I'm not a sharpshooter, but I can take care of myself.
Very well. Well, we leave in the morning. Oh, 600.
Barrels just looks around the bar again, trying to make sure that he's not being watched by anyone, not wanting to make eye contact, but also wanting to look at everyone. Um, he just kind of sheepishly has his hands together in his lap. Says, "Yeah, that sounds good. The earlier the better. Nice early start. Yeah, that sounds good."
You tell me what hangar your ship's at, and I'll meet you there tomorrow morning.
Hangar 715. Just to the left of here. Don't worry. There's still time to enjoy ourselves tonight for a few hours. We're going to die together, boys. Might as well drink together.
Varel narrows his
You're
eyes
saying
at
he's going
him.
to die.
Yeah, exactly. Varel narrows his eyes at him. It's like,
No
well,
wonder
I
you
mean,
were calling him sus earlier. Tried to
exactly.
give you a good
He,
feeling.
he sees that darkness in him, his willingness to just go ahead and throw his life away, and Varel just kind of squints at him a little bit, looks at him like, yeah, yeah. If we're gonna die, let's count on living though, right?
Of course.
Well, fact is, we're all gonna die, but I'm gonna be damned if it's gonna be today, and double damned if it's tomorrow.
Varel nods at that. I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Let's ride. Let's give me that screen wipe action.
Yeah, there's a screen wipe, and um, we everyone's in their rooms or wherever their lodgings are. I'm guessing everyone has a temporary lodgings here in Corellia, unless this is your home planet. Um, and Aston, particularly in you're probably on the ship, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so let me swing over there to the Nomad. Um, so the Nomad is a VCX 100 light freighter, um, and it does have stats, and you should be able to look at it. Um, Rundown is it has shields on all sides, 1, 3 armor, 5 silhouette, -3 handling, 3 speed, 32 hull drama, 28 system strain, 200 encumbrance capacity. It is pretty heavily heavily armed with a light laser cannon that is dorsal and ventral, so its firing arc is everywhere. Uh, light,
Oh,
la-
yeah.
light laser cannon is aft, and medium laser cannon is forward. Um, I believe those are all linked. Yep. So just
Yeah.
make sure you can confirm you can get in there, because um,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
that's your ship.
Yep. I can open up the sheet and stuff.
Cool. And then
Very cool.
there's a spot where you can like um, outfit your crew, right? So if I like pull, so you see how PV3 is the pilot and Jarek is the gunner right now. So if I pull like you over there, I don't. Maybe how do I do that? I don't remember, but yeah, I think it's just because there's um, only two roles. Anyway, okay. So Aston, you're on your on the ship and asleep, um, and you're probably over like here, one of these, right? Um,
Hmm.
and your droid PV3 um, over the comms. Master, incoming transmission encrypted. Priority 1.
Aston kind of, crawls up into the cockpit, into that seat, as you so often see Han do with Chewie. And Aston sits down next to PV, says, "What do you got for me, P?"
And there's a
Seems
warble.
he seems more relaxed around the droid than he does the people.
Yeah, there's a warble, and you see this, hologram, um, but it's kind of has a warble to it, as maybe the signal isn't perfect, and the voice calls out in this brown, completely robed figure. You never see their face exactly, but it's your handler, quote unquote, um, called Z. Just the letter Z. Anytime you've ever seen a correspondence from him or her over, a data slate or something, it's always been Z. Um, they start the conversation very quickly, saying, "Have you made contact with your potential employees?"
Of course I have, Z. When has Aston John ever let you down? They're quite the characters. Veril, has he ever actually blown something up?
Z doesn't answer, just says, "You need to extract within the hour."
Extract within the hour. That's not much time at all. I need time to work my magic, Z. Why the rush?
Just so you know, this prison place isn't on Corellia, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it's that mining planet. It's
yeah,
like a kind
yeah,
of like an asteroid or
yep.
something.
Anyway, he says, "Collect your team and leave. Imperial presence. They are looking for someone on Corellia. I do not believe it is you, but if you draw their suspicions, then you could be undone."
Roger that, Z. We'll get out of here. Lickety split. PV, can you raise Veril and Jarek on comms?
I'm guessing they would have given you that information.
Yeah.
Um, and PV sends pings to both, and your whatever comms you have on you or in your rooms begin to signal that you have a call.
Yeah, kind of half asleep. He's unable to get into a fully relax. Obviously, he's a nervous man, um, so unable to fully relax, but half asleep. He hears his comlink chime and quickly answers it. This is Vero. What is it?
Veril, this is John. Aston John, your new business partner. You have 30 minutes to get to Hangar 715. Please do so or you'll be eliminated. You already know too much.
What is happening? What is this?
715. Veril, see you in 30. Goodbye. He hangs
And
up.
Beryl quickly starts grabbing his things and throwing them into his backpack. He just simply brought a backpack and some heavy clothing and some gear that he threw into his backpack. He grabs his blaster pistol off of the uh, bedside table and throws it into his bag as well. Um, just kind of grabs everything in a hurry, just kind of scooping everything up and shoving it in there. He throws the bag over his shoulder and rushes out of the lodging where he was staying. Starts heading towards the hangar.
When Aston calls Jarek, he kind of picks up his comm link He says, "Go. What do you got?"
Eric, this is Aston John, your new business partner. Listen, there's unwanted company on the way. They're close. Be in the hangar. 30 minutes. Do you remember the number?
I got it. No rest for the wicked. I'll be there shortly.
Repeat it back to me, Jarek.
I'm not repeating it on this channel. I'll be there. Don't worry.
Jesus Christ, he hangs up the thing.
He cuts off the comlink and he packs. He has no real belongings. He kind of travels with what he's wearing, and he immediately hangs out for or heads out for 715.
Evie, going to have to get used to this too. Not Imperials. They're not going to follow orders. First time asked.
The droid just inclines its head to you.
True
Doesn't
rebels.
say anything.
3 cents. Aston kind of gets busy, probably pre-programming in the jump coordinates to the mining planet and so forth.
Yeah, you do. And as soon as their legs can get them there, Jarek and Veril, you head into the docking bay, and there's only one ship there, and it is the Nomad. The ramp is down.
Yeah, and Veril, he's looking around. He's securing his backpack around his shoulder, looking around, making sure that he wasn't followed as he makes his way up the ramp.
Jarek, seeing Veril, he follows up into the ramp and calls out, 715, I remember.
It was a test, Jarek. The first of many. First before we die. We gotta get out of here.
Jarek kind of looks around, goes, cute ship. It flies, I assume.
It does. Quickly. Doesn't handle too well, but it moves.
Well, if you say we need to get going, then let's get going.
All right, PV. Up with the ramp. Let's go. I pre-programmed the nav.
And you hear the suspensors of the ramp. PV says, "Prepare for takeoff. Secure yourselves."
Veril's fumbling with his backpack as he slings it off his shoulder and looks around to sit down. He looks over at Jarek. Did he say before we die? As he sits down, kind of just looking around, taking the ship in.
As you look around the ship, it's oddly stark. Everything is extremely ordered, polished. There are almost no personal items at all to be found.
Got a pretty utilitarian ship here. Not had it long?
Oh, I've had it for some time. In fact, it was in my family before what happened. I just keep it up to snuff. You don't want your ship to fail when it's most important. And that time's almost here, my friends.
Fair enough. I think I'll go have a seat here while we leave over orbit.
We have clearance to leave atmosphere, PV3 says.
As we leave the atmosphere, it's I think we said it was in the morning, or I guess we were leaving that night.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the night.
Yeah, they rise into the, it's like the cutscene from all the KOTOR games. You rise into the night sky. There's air traffic of lines of air traffic, and as they get higher, you see those lines of Corellia that kind of spread beneath them.
What you are you see this at your view screen as much as on the instruments. There appears to be quite a bit of space traffic in this area. You see that there's actually a Star Destroyer in the distance and TIE fighters zooming about. And there's at least a few shuttles heading down to the surface. How would you like to proceed?
Aston kind of leans forward and looks up into the view screen. I wonder if this was the company Z was talking about. What do you think, PV? Is this heavy traffic for this time of night?
The PV states, on our arrival, Imperial presence was only 28% of current Imperial presence in this system.
And now?
It is 72% increased.
Oh. Yeah, this obviously was what Z was talking about. He kind of looks down at the comms and says, Vero, Jarek, sorry to interrupt your getting to know you tour of the ship, but you're needed in the cockpit. We may have some Imperial entanglements.
Vero makes his way up to the cockpit, and he kind of wide-eyed looks around the cockpit and out the front of the cockpit. What Imperial entanglements? What's happening? What's going on?
I don't know what, but I'm sure it's something. My associate was concerned about it too, and he's almost never wrong. In fact, he's yet to be wrong. Question is, how do we get past? I'm not sure if they're setting up a blockade or. And he starts to think, can I do like a bureaucracy or something to see like what the SOP is? I should know what the SOP is when they come to the planet to set up a blockade.
Let's see. What would we use? Oh, here we go.
It's the same, and all my knowledge are all 2 green. So
Yeah, I would do a warfare. I mean,
okay.
that doesn't really help, but I'll let you do skullduggery.
Oh, all right, all right, all right.
I'll be
A
kind.
little better, a little better. Average.
Yeah. You guys cannot roll worth a shit tonight. Yeah,
No threats, at least.
Can I do one as well since I'm looking at this?
I don't think you would be able to. I would say not
Okay.
because it just wouldn't be something you would know exactly.
I need to start asking for some boosts and some stuff from you guys. Keep
Yeah.
forgetting this is a system I haven't played for a while. You have
Yeah,
to really
I
work it.
know, I know. We'll get used to it. Anyway, yeah, you just are not exactly sure. Um,
I just yeah.
you would think that
I've
there
never
may be
shown them. Yeah,
more capital ships, but yeah, you're not entirely sure. You didn't catch anything on the surface that seemed like anybody was alarmed until you got that message.
what's this? I don't know, PV. I've never seen them come out quite aggressively like this. It's not part of any SOP I'm aware of.
PV3
Ah,
says, "Master, we are being hailed."
ah. Aston kind of swallows hard. You see his Adam's apple go up and down. Then just like a calm seems to go over him. Very well. Answer.
VCX Freighter. This is what would it be? This is Imperial System Command. State your destination.
All right, he holds down the transmission button. All right, I'm about to have a quick aside here. So, of my background, I'm assuming I would have more of a, plan from Z. Go in, like use the codes and stuff, use my
Yeah.
clearances. Is that right?
So the actual codes you have for the prison are not yours.
Okay.
They're not related to your ISB work.
Mm-hmm.
So those are not your codes, so it wouldn't tie you to um, the attack, right? Now you have your own codes as an ISB agent, which could get you out of certain situations, but could potentially expose you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that make
Very well.
sense?
Yep. I think so. So Aston holds down his transmission. Well met. Thank you for your service. Long live the Empire. This is Aston John, captain of the Nomad. Our destination is, and he kind of says the name of the mining planet.
What is your cargo?
We're consultants, hired for the new mining facility there. The Empire is just expanding. I'm proud to be a part of it, sir. Demolitions expert and engineer.
And there's conspicuous silence there. I want you to give me a
Deception.
yeah, you can do deception.
Why? You told the truth. You told him who I was.
And then yeah, I would say on this one just go ahead and do two purples. That's fine.
You don't even have any light side points, boys.
Actually, hold on. I would like to. I'm gonna upgrade it.
Oh, great.
So it would be one purple, one red. Yeah.
Let's save it. Let's save it. You guys want to save it
You
for
do what
later?
you think. You do what you think.
I like to save it. I like to save it.
You're the
I
force
like.
sensitive one.
I like to lose sometimes.
Yeah. How do you think you want to use those advantages? I have an idea. After the role play happens, let's revisit that. Just don't forget them, okay? Um,
Okay.
the this is Space Command. Prepare for boarding. Power down your thrusters.
Prepare for boarding, sir. But, sir, the Empire, I'm sure, is on the timeline, and as are we. And in our service to the Empire, we really strive to be punctual.
You see
Now, I would.
a Lambda shuttle heading in your direction, or some sort of transport shuttle.
Ah, Bantha's breath. Veril, Jarek, how are your acting chops?
I tend to be better at threatening than lying. Don't think that's applicable here.
Yeah, I can play bad cop too. Let's
You
see.
see Farrell, and he's nervously looking around, and he has his backpack. He's holding it tightly. His knuckles are white, and he's looking around. He's like, where can I put this? You have to have some place I can put this. And he looks over at PV3, and he tries handing him his backpack. Said, here, you take this. You take this.
The voice on the comm states again. Disengage your engines, freighter.
Absolutely. Hey, you don't have to ask the Nomad twice to comply. And the Empire, if it likes anything, it likes compliance. Powering down, sir. Switches off the comm. Ah,
PV3
bastard.
states, What do you want me to do, master?
You know the act. I'm the consultant, Aston John, wealthy son of passed away multimillionaire. He kind of goes over his fake family story that's very close to his real family story. You know that gig. And Veril, you are our explosive experts consultant, and Jarek, your security with a minor in engineering.
I was gonna say, didn't you just say I was an engineer?
I
Exactly.
was going to, I was going to totally screw you on that if you didn't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the minor of engineering because he's kind of pulling it slightly out of his ass. I'm not
He double
completely.
majored at the university.
Yeah.
And he says, "You're about to understand why there's no personal affects in this entire ship and why it's so clean. Because today, this is going to be a corporate ship. Part of, I don't know, what's the Zerk of the day?
I don't know. It would
Storo
have like
sub.
an ID.
Or sub, or,
Yeah. So
yeah.
what company is it a part of?
Soro sub, is that one? I don't know, something that would sound reasonable.
Well, let's
I
see
can do
what
a street rise if you
ChatGPT
want.
says. Give me 10 names of sci-fi corporations. How about Blacklight Syndicate?
Blacklight Syndicate. Okay. And we're part of Blacklight Syndicate. And Blacklight, it's consultants, punctual, neat, clean, pristine, always accurate. Understood? No stuttering, Varel.
Of course, yeah, yeah. Of course not. Yeah. No, no, no. What do I do with this back?
There's foot lockers in each room. I mean, you don't have any
And if all,
smuggling holds or anything like that, but
and if all else fails, I got a backup plan.
And Vero quickly runs to one of the rooms and finds one of those lockers and shoves his backpack in there and slams the locker shut and kind of straightens
Um,
his uniform up and walks out of the room.
can I add just like a little something for flavor,
yes,
and we
for
can
sure.
make what you want.
Absolutely.
So like as he does that, is he shuts that closet door like and he's like rustling past. One of the other closet doors kind of opens up, and like you see like a bunch of neat, pristine, like imperial uniforms in it.
Hmm.
And
Maybe Varel sees it on his way past.
It's up to
does Vero see
Vero.
on his way past?
It's up to you.
Yeah, Vero looks at that and immediately his eyes get wide and he sees that and he continues shutting the locker as he walks past. And now he's getting nervous. See that feeling he got about this person earlier in the evening at the bar is starting to make sense to him now. Something feels off to him. Something doesn't feel right, and seeing those uniforms uh, starts sending him into a little bit of a panic.
So, Bo. You told PV to shut down the engines.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever to comply with whatever they want us
All
to
right.
do. I think.
Okay. Uh, let's take 5 minutes real quick.
Sounds good. We gotta start rolling better, boys.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good start.
Have we failed like everyone?
Everyone. Nah, maybe not everyone, but a lot of them.
It's a good thing we didn't gamble waiting for 6 a.m.
Right. So,
Yeah, we
Bucketheads are
failed.
coming on. Come on. This is the real Star Wars. This is the real. This is the real stuff. Straight from the teat.
We can't be all Mary Sue's right from the beginning.
Straight from the blue teat. It has to be a blue teat that makes blue milk.
Science.
Hashtag science.
Did nobody go anywhere?
No.
Doc, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm
All
here.
right. Okay, let's just keep going then. Okay. So it takes a few minutes. There's a kind of a clamping noise. Ding, ching, you know that noise in all Star Wars movies. And the exit, there's like a door that they open that connects to their hold, and in walks a Imperial officer, and behind him three stormtroopers. So this is a mob with three of them in it. That's the blue things down there that you see. That's how this system does it. So there's the four of them, and he walks in and he states, "Your destination is Gogoros 4. Is that correct?"
Yes, sir. Gagoris 4. Nice to meet you, sir. Make yourself at home. Hopefully my ship is pristine and up to Imperial standards.
"Stand out of the way. Do not impede our search." He nods to the stormtroopers, and they all kind of like file up through the ship.
And they all gather around the Fazak table or whatever it is. Thinking too many KOTOR stuff tonight.
Yeah, and the Imperial officer just kind of stands there looking at you, and he says, "What was your business on Corellia?"
Oh, me? Are you talking to him? Me?
"I'm talking. Who is the captain of this ship? You are, am I correct?"
Yes, sir. Captain John, sir. My business on Corellia was to meet with my two fellow my consultants here. On the company's dying, of course. I apologize. It was a late night last night. We were at a bar. You might know the place. The name escapes me though. It was a real dive. Um, but yes, I met with these two friends here. He just tries to obfuscate them and spin a bunch of corporate lingo to make it like a very boring story. They were at a conference or some shit.
Yeah, so he just kind of, why don't you give me a deception? Yeah. We'll do hold on. I think this guy's a rival, right? So isn't that three purples? Yeah.
It gets upgraded once. I don't know. I forget the rule actually. There are
Um,
rules though.
he has adversary, right?
I think adversaries you upgrade everything one time.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
so
positive. Yeah,
so
so be a purple and a red.
yep, a purple and a red. So deception versus a purple and a red, correct. That's what I like.
Maybe I should upgrade mine, boys. But it'll go all dark. Let's wait. Maybe I could try to influence him too.
Good.
Try that. Yeah, with all of his prostration and corporate talk and trying to be a imperial bootlicker, he tries to make him kind of see Aston and these guys as just a couple of corporate dweebs, you know? Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
get out of this place. Let's roll my. See, maybe I get a boost if I succeed on this. No, dark.
You want to use it? I'll give
Yeah,
you.
just make him frustrated at this job. Because this guy, I can't stand this guy. I just want to get off this ship because these guys are so boring to talk to. I'll make him frustrated. I have to use it for a dark emotion.
So he doesn't have to. You don't have to even roll that then, right?
No, no, like, yeah. So at an upgraded level, I would, we could just role play it probably because you can put the actual thought, but at the very root of the tree, it's just like a predisposition to believe it, or a pleasant or negative emotion. So you
Oh,
can make him
I see. So
warmly
that
to
so let's
you.
let's roll it, and I'll give you an upgrade
Yeah,
on your roll. Sound good?
it's fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you 2 conflict for that one since it's kind of like your.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look at the force rules because I haven't looked at it in a couple of years. So
Well, after the we'll roll a d10 after this, and if it's below what the 10 minus the conflict, then you get down to morality. I don't remember how much, but anyway,
it's not disaster. It's not disastrous. I
no,
remember
no.
that upgrade ability, upgrade difficulty. There we go. Right here. Hey.
Okay. Yeah, he just seems just kind of starts pacing, not really paying attention. One of the store. Okay, question. Did you lock that Foot Locker?
Nope. That's why I wanted to see if he shut it. Because if he left it open, I was going to make it. I was going to actually bring it up in the next scene as like a
Yeah,
potential
no,
thing you could use a dark
I
point
threw
on.
the bag in there and just slammed it shut and walked
Yeah,
out.
okay. One of the stormtroopers comes back and um, he just looks at you guys and says, "What's in the? Is it explosives that's in there?"
Do you want to know the contents in there?
Oh yeah.
All right. So in that backpack, I currently have explosives. I have basically what's called detonite flex tape, detonite charges. I have 2 frag grenades.
Yeah,
Okay.
we need all
All
this
right.
for a consulting gig.
Yeah.
I
We need
have
Okay.
all
So
that.
so the
I have my
stormtroopers
blasting pistol.
one of them comes back and says, "We found this," and he kind of gently puts it on the ground, and the officer goes and just looks down into it, and he looks it over his shoulder to the rest of you and says, "Do you want to explain what there's explosives doing here?"
Yeah. At that point, Vero walks towards us and said, "Oh, yeah, be careful. Be careful with that pack. I've got some sensitive equipment in there for this job that we've been hired to do.
Hey,
We're
remember, I
being
got two advantages. I got two advantages.
Mm-hmm.
we've been contracted uh, for this outpost. This is for stress testing the surrounding rock in the area to make sure that it's secure and stable. It's all pretty basic for the type of work we're doing, sir.
He just looks between the two of you, and based on your advantages and your influence earlier, he just shrugs and says, "Let's go." And the stormtroopers, one of them says, "But I'm not finished." And he says, "Let's go." And they kind of jog after him. And without saying
Vero lets
anything,
out
they
a
just exit. And you hear a big kerthong, and they disembark.
And yeah, as soon as they leave, Aston just like looks like deflated and says, like, oh, that's close. Says, PV, oh, I'm glad you locked all the closets. You locked all the closets, didn't you?
I did not lock any closets. However, if you are thinking what I know you are thinking, then no, they did not search that part of your room.
Understood. Tell you what, Aston John, better to be lucky than good.
And
So we walk
Varel
back
lets
to
out
the
a
cockpit.
Varel lets out a sigh, and before Aston gets all the way to the cockpit, he puts his hand on his chest and stops him. Like, who are you? Who are you? I saw what was in that locker. What is this?
The handcuffs with the fur on them. It was one night and it was crazy. That is the only thing that you will find out of place on this ship. Promise.
Then he looks over to Jarek. He has Imperial uniforms and his lockers in there. He's part of the
Nonsense.
Empire.
Role play. It's part and parcel with the
We
cuffs.
all wear different skins in the line of work we're in. Are you suggesting he's some sort of double agent?
I'm suggesting that I don't know because he didn't tell us. I didn't know I was going to be getting into bed with someone who had Imperial uniforms in their locker. If you had been up front with us from the beginning, maybe we could have made this work.
He kind of turns his mood a little bit and kind of grabs Daryl by lapel. Well, perhaps you would have been scared shitless and run away, pissing down your leg. And lets go of him. Daryl, I just saved all of our asses. Get that straight. Jarek has a head on his shoulders enough to see it. You should too.
The
Starts
only
to
reason
walk
I'm
up towards the
still
cockpit.
standing in this ship is because you did. You could have
You
turned
want to
us
know the
over
truth?
easily.
Because of
And
this, he
Varel's
takes his pen and sticks it in Varel's face. They killed my entire family, Varel. Except my mother, who's rotting in some prison somewhere. I'll never see her again. But I tell you what, I'm gonna see a lot of dead fucking Imperial soldiers. They replace
There's
the
no F
fucking with
bombs in Star Wars.
Jeez.
maybe they'll drop one on Andor this year. We never know. He tries to convince him of his sincerity.
and Varel is obviously upset and you see, why didn't you tell us to start with? Just I don't feel good about this.
He just kind of backs off a little bit. Trust your intuitions, Varel. You are right. I am an Imperial.
And Vera looks over at Jarek, like with his eyes wide, like, me?
You?
Or I am an Imperial. Sorry. And then he shows his ISB badge kind of out of his other pocket. Says, "This is my backup plan. I was going to try to pull the ace out of the pocket if they didn't believe that lie. But my true heart, both of you, is here. And we're going to blow this mining station to high hell after we're done."
Varel puts his hands on his head like in exasperation and is walking in circles, pacing. It's like, oh my god, I, how did this happen? And he's, just kind of talking to himself, trying to talk himself down. Just realizing that the person they just got on the ship with is an Imperial ISB agent. He's in complete shock and he's obviously upset and just kind of pacing back and forth with his hands on his head, trying to catch some air.
Jarek's been sitting there just kind of absorbing this information and kind of leans back, puts his hands behind his head, and goes, an ISB agent working against the Imperials was not something I thought I was going to encounter.
Well, count yourself lucky or cursed, depending on the outcome. PV, what are our chances? Better than 50-50. 50-50 chance of death last time you estimated, right?
With my minor ability to diagnose personalities in such a short amount of time from your colleagues, I would say we have a 61% chance of death.
Varel's pacing becomes a little more quickened. He starts hyperventilating a bit. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe this is happening to us.
62% chance of death.
You control your own fate, Veril. It'll be fine. And if it isn't, well, you probably won't know it.
Master, the coordinates for our hyperspace jump are complete. Ready? At your command.
Lunch at PV.
And the ship rockets off into hyperspace. And I think this is a pretty good stopping point, actually.
As we go off into hyperspace, yeah.
A short one, but
Varel goes over and
a good
grabs
one.
his backpack and holds it to his chest.
I've always said we can do more sessions if you just do shorter ones, you know? So I could do a session like this even if I had to be at work at